NathanIvy.com. Mr. Ivy know the show must go on. As far as Cincinnati, man, I put on. Tunes made another flame beat for me to cook on. Raised arms, closed fists, yeah, too strong. Team NI, chop it up at the chop shop. Top notch with the king flow, the hot shot. Cop squats in, listen to the real. Jumping like hopscotch, nobody harder than, oh, no, think not. Not only citywide, but nationwide. Superlative, keep it locked like them Haitian guys. Put the truth in the airwaves, we talk about it. Brand new like the templates, let's be about it. Who got the info by the AM? Jono be the rapper, got them jamming when they play him. Staying in my lane, they ain't gotta okay him. Who the host with the scoop? Yeah, they gon' say him. Ivy, so superlative like a bag of Drippos. Show you where the bricks at, Cincinnati red tag. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at. It's the 5-1-3, yeah, you know the flow. What's the word, Nate? Let them know the show. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at. My people at. People at. People at.
Well, let me say good morning, everyone. Welcome back. What a beautiful day. Broadcasting live from beautiful Cincinnati, Ohio. I go by the name of Nathan Ivy. Welcome back. What a glorious morning. I've been up since about 5:30. You know what I'm saying? Got a little breakfast in, a little stretch in. Prepare for this morning's show. Bid my family a good day. Children going to school, wifey to the work, to the job. And of course, I get to rock with you for the next few hours. Good morning to you. Welcome back. Welcome back. How was the last 24 hours? Anybody hit the lottery? If you hit the lottery, let me know. Anything good happened in the last 24 hours? Of course, I've been keeping my eye on what's happening in terms of the world around us. And I want to discuss a little Cincinnati politics. Big news this morning will be surrounding probably city council and Tamaya Dennard. But what I'm looking at, it looks like she was served with a subpoena for going back to that whole text messaging case. They still on that. They still wasting everybody's time with this. And there's a funny ass quote. Sharon Coolidge, who everyone loves, everyone's favorite local reporter, journalist, whatever she would call herself. I'll say journalist probably. She wrote a piece about Tamaya Dennard. And apparently Tamaya left city council, the way they put it anyway, to avoid being processed, being served. And apparently what I thought was hilarious was, so apparently Tamaya's like going out the side door. Sharon Coolidge goes around there and she asks her a question as she's leaving to go to her car. She's like, well, and let me look at the exact quote here. When asked why she wasn't at the council meeting, which was in session, Dennard said, quote, "You know I don't like you," and then told her to go away. So you know I don't like you. So why are you asking me questions? That's hilarious. And then she writes that Dennard drove off, and there's a picture of Tamaya Dennard driving off in her car. Have you seen this? I can't make this shit up. Over some text messages, man. Over some politically motivated BS, politically motivated by Christopher Smitherman and his friends to try to take down PG Sittenfield. That's what it was all about. Let's just cut through the chase. Let's call it what it is. And, you know, hey, when you go for one, you go for them all. Now, I'll say it again. In hindsight, you have to ask these individuals themselves, but in hindsight, I think everybody would say that, you know, it was probably a bad idea. I still say there's some gray area there because we live in an age where you have text messages now. When this Ohio law was put in place, they didn't have no damn text messages. They couldn't even conceive that. So I still think there needs to be an update on all of that, but perhaps that was the update. I don't know, but this is hilarious. She was like, why weren't you at the council meeting? Now, you know I don't like you. Go away. That was nice. Oh, man, that's hilarious. I'm sure people will be talking about that throughout the rest of the day. Yeah. I mean, I'll say it again. I think Tamaya Dennard is doing a hell of a job. I'll put it straight out there. That's just my personal opinion from what I see, from where I sit, from what I think is needed on so many different levels. I think she's doing a hell of a job. That's what I would say. But there are people out there that are threatened by this black woman exercising her authority as a city council person. Like I said, for years and years and years, these council people would smile in your face and they would essentially just be rubber stamping whatever the elites wanted. Whatever development wanted, rubber stamp. What do you want? Rubber stamp. So Tamaya Dennard runs saying, listen, I'm going to stop all of that, is elected, goes into office and does just that. And they don't like it. And what have we seen? We've seen nonstop attacks from the media. We saw an effort led by the business community and Christopher Smitherman to move from 4-year terms to 2-year terms. That was a direct attack on Tamaya Dennard and her style of leadership, which is asking questions. When was the last time anybody told the mayor, don't white-splain to me? When you ever heard some shit like, you ain't never heard nothing like that. Never. You ain't never heard nobody who had the cojones to say that, the intelligence, the moxie to say that before Tamaya Dennard. I'm just telling you. So for people that support her, I'm just saying, there are forces out there that just don't like her style. They might like her personally, but they don't like her style of leadership, asking questions and checking folks. You know what? Wait. We didn't elect you for that. You're supposed to rubber stamp like everybody else has done. Just rubber stamp it. And so, you know, you can expect more stories like this. See more stories like this. I don't know the details. That's what's being reported. But again, there's the truth and there's what's being reported. Sometimes it's the same. Sometimes it's not. You know, we'll have to wait for more information to see what's going on. But, you know, this is the reason they didn't like Tamaya Dennard before she got on city council, because before she got on city council, in the Inquirer, they did this whole, and I'm not saying the Inquirer is against her, I'm just saying that's where the story was. But they did this whole story talking about taxes, back taxes. I read the story, right? And after reading all the stories, everybody had taken care of their business. Everybody had come up with they'd either paid them off or they were in some kind of arrangement. And for me, if it's good enough for the IRS, it's good enough for me. But, many people have critiqued it. I know the Cincinnati NAACP, which had an event last night, educating the people. Shout out to all the folks out there in their efforts to educate the people. I respect it. And I know the Cincinnati NAACP, essentially got an apology from the Cincinnati Enquirer and their editorial staff or whoever it was that showed up to represent the Enquirer because of that very story I just referenced. So some people have a problem with Tamaya before she even got on city council. And like I said, she get on city council asking questions and making good points and calling out inconsistencies and shit. You know what I'm saying? We ain't let you for that. We want you to be the black girl on city council and be quiet. Just be happy you're on council and be quiet. Don't talk. Don't challenge any developers. That's what it's all about. And again, if anybody doubts what I'm saying, the business community was behind the effort to go from 4-year terms to 2-year terms. Now, why would the local business community, not all of them, but some of the leaders in the business community, we'll put it that way, were behind this, like FC Cincinnati, Jeff Birding, and others? Why do you think they got behind this effort to go from 4-year terms to 2-year terms? Do you think it was because of the bickering? If you think it was because of the bickering, you are a damn fool. Oh, they argue all the time. It had nothing to do with that. That was just what they said to the public. The problem is people like Yvette Simpson, Wendell Young out here questioning whether Children's Hospital is going to get to be able to do expansion. Wait a minute. The business community ain't used to that. They're not used to that kind of friction. They're used to the rubber stamp. Just rubber stamp it. Do what we say, not as we do. That's what it was all about. Oh, the bickering. Oh, the bickering in city council. And the number one person causing the bickering is talking about the bickering. I'm just telling you. That was Christopher Smitherman. Let's keep it real. He was the number one person doing all the bickering, but yet the bickering is why we had to go from 4-year terms to 2-year terms. I'll say it again. I think we deserved at least another cycle of 4-year terms. That would be three terms to really ascertain as to whether what's best for us. Not what's best for the, a few business elites that's got special interests. Not what's best for Christopher Smitherman. Not what's best for members of city council. But what's best for us, right? The people they represent. And, I'm torn. I mean, ultimately the will of the people, but I'm still torn. I'm not one of those people who thought, 4 years is too much time. I don't necessarily believe that. It depends. It depends on who the persons are, right? It depends on the individuals. I'm telling you, we got some big decisions to make coming up in 2021. Let's not make some of the same old mistakes. That's all I'm saying. So, yeah, I guess this is fine reporting for Sharon Coolidge. I bet this is going to get a lot of play, a lot of clicks today. They even got a photograph of the envelope. This is hilarious. And again, over what? Where is the damage? I understand the law, but at some point it was legal that black people were less than white people. That was the law. So when I hear people talking about the law, well, let's analyze as to whether it's still useful today, right now. I hear you on all that. But I'm still trying to figure, the biggest damage of the text messaging in the Gang of Five scandal is the oxygen that it takes up. That's the biggest damage. Like, there's people out there that say, like, oh, when Jeff Passer comes up with an idea because he wants to remove the name of a slave owner on some of our city streets, that's not worth the time. But talking about text messages is? It's already been resolved. This is clearly politically motivated by the Republican Party and their acolytes, like Black Russia and others, like Christopher Smitherman and others, to, as I told you earlier, to just throw some dirt on the game before the game gets started. That's what it's all about. If I thought otherwise, I would tell you otherwise. If you got a different opinion, here is my number, 513-873-7134. Just saying, there's people out to get Tamaya Dennard. There's people out to get some of these folks because they don't like them. It's politically motivated. And then once you push that ball down the hill, you play it all the way out. Like, do you think that Brian Shrive could have conceived that here we are, a year later, still talking about this? Probably not. But shit, you just take a shot and see what happens. Let's see what happens, Captain. This is all transparency in government, my ass. City council. Please stop. Well, transparency in government. I'm with transparency in government, but is that really what the issue is here? I don't know. I get the spirit of it. I understand it, but I also think that it's BS if we think that these people on city council aren't coming together and making up decisions before they actually get before city council, because that's what the core of it. The core of it, the philosophy behind the whole law is that, city council should debate in public, as if they're not already thinking about it before they get to city council chambers, as if they haven't already conversed a bit with their colleagues before they get to city council chambers. I just feel like I understand it, but you're talking about splitting hairs. We splitting hairs like a mile ago on this. We are. But, this is the only thing that your local Hamilton County Republican Party, can do. They can't do, they definitely ain't trying to make no inroads in the black community. So this is what they can do for you. Oh my gosh, man. Only in America, I guess. But shout out to Sharon Coolidge. I mean, I guess she's going to get a lot of attention today. I'm sure people will be talking about it. 513-873-7134. If you'd like to share your thoughts, perhaps you've got a comment. A local judge has been getting a lot of attention because he said that he calls ICE when suspects are here illegally. Says, listen, man. He says his criteria is if you speak Spanish and you're charged with a lot of drugs, not from here. And people are making a big deal about this. He says, I call ICE in a minute. I have no problem calling ICE. That's Judge Robert Ruhlman. Says he calls ICE 10 to 20 times a year. Well, I mean, that's his right? My thing is that if you really got a problem with Judge Ruhlman, who is he running against? When is he up for a re-election? I'd like to know. Good morning to you. All right, you got my number. Now, listen, if calling into the show is not your thing, but you like to do like the whole text chat room thing, hey, join the chat room. We call it the Chop Shop, a.k.a. Cyber Wakanda. It's the closest thing we have in Cincinnati. And you can join via Spreaker. Now, you can listen to the show on a couple of apps. You can listen to the show live streaming on TuneIn, TUNEIN. You can also listen to the live streaming show on Spreaker as well. Okay, those are two of your, and you can also listen to the live streaming show on YouTube as well. Okay, you got three options. Okay, on YouTube, I'm at Nathan Has Nerve. Or just type Nathan Ivy Show. You'll find, subscribe, and hit the bell. Real simple, right? Real simple, Now, the show is available as a podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. So I won't go through the whole list, Spotify and I won't run it all the way down. But if you're on a platform and you're searching for the podcast and can't find it, let me know. And I'll see what I can do about putting the podcast on the platform. Not just this podcast, but any of the Sin Digital Media podcasts. Truth to Power podcast, Is It Just Me podcast with Donnie B, Cutting Through the BS podcast, the Hot Mic podcast, or any podcast. It should be on all platforms where you listen to podcasts. If not, let me know. Oh, man. Yeah, I haven't been talking about impeachment. And everybody's talking about Hakeem Jeffries, and he dropped a verse from Biggie, and that's cool. It's cool that he's culturally aware like that. I love a good flow. But it ain't all that. It's, what I'm saying? It's not all of that. Tracy's first inside the Chop Shop. She writes, hi, good morning to you, Tracy. Give me 1 second here because I recently had to reconfigure all of the stuff on my soundboard, which I had been putting together over some time. Hold on 1 second. So some of the clips that I like to play on the show just are not available. I'm going to have to reset a lot of this stuff. Oh, man, that's no bueno. It's no bueno at all. Damn it. I'm looking for one in particular. You know what I'm talking about. Get to the choppers. Let me see here. Give me 1 second. What is this? Okay, looks like I got a lot of them. Oh, okay, yeah, we good. We all here. Great, we all here. Good. Yeah, we good. You
ready to shake up the world, radio man?
Yes, I am. Yes.
Get to the chopper!
Let's do it. Tracy Rice, hi. Broadway Flow writes, Broadway Flow here, reporting live from in front of the bodega. Councilmember Dennard ducks the feds. She tries to serve her own camera. That's right, y'all. An ill setup was in play, but the runner-up for Rookie of the Year was not having it. Ms. Dennard smoothly eased out of harm's way and avoided public shaming. When approached by the reporter and cameraman, Ms. Dennard said, quote, "You know I don't like you, right?" That was a polite way of saying, "Itch, don't get effed up out here." Well played by Ms. Dennard. Well played. With the recent flub by the Rookie of the Year, you may have moved up in MVP voting. Anyway, good morning. Hashtag alt middle. Ayatollah stand up.
Go! Get to the chopper!
Ray writes, Grand Risings all. Brenda writes, Happy Friday. Ashley writes, good morning, Nathan and the Choppers. Heading to Indianapolis to celebrate Baby Chopper's birthday. Happy Friday. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. Hope she has a great birthday. Happy birthday from me directly to Baby Chopper. She is a blessing, I'm sure. She is a blessing. Man, I'm just so happy to hear it. Tracy Rice, they tried it Broadway, didn't they? They did try it. She's like, listen, you know I don't like you, right? Just to, and when you tell somebody that, you're letting them know for any future interactions. Cam writes, step into the AM with the Nathan Ivy Show in the Chop Shop. Good morning to you, Cam. Mike123 writes, good morning, the great Nate. Okay, appreciate that. Good morning to you. Kelly writes, good morning. Broadway Flow writes, sure did, Tracy, clown-ish. I'm telling you, there's people out there that's got a problem with her. They got a real problem with her. You know, if you go to certain websites, not websites, but chat rooms, Facebook groups, oh, they're going to delight in it today. Oh, they're going to love it. I'm sure that your white, male-dominated, conservative, right-wing, crazy-ass, local conservative talk show hosts are going to have a great time with this today. Maybe even right now. Everybody's not favorite morning person, Brian Thomas. I don't know how this guy keeps a job in radio. I don't know. Kelly writes, good morning. Broadway Flow writes, sure did, Tracy, clown-ish. Mason Marler writes, morning, Nate and the Choppers. Hashtag Choppers don't dance, we boogie. Hashtag TGIF. Yeah. PSA, Chinese people stop eating wild animals. Thank you for that, Mike123. I appreciate that. Mason Marler writes, went after PG and ended up getting Wendell Young and Tamaya caught up in his BS. Imagine that. Hashtag no snitch culture cat. That's exactly what happened. That's exactly what it is. Let's call it what it is. That's exactly what happened. It was going after PG and everybody else was like collateral. Like, we'll get, come on boy, y'all Democrats. Sure. That's what it was about. And I told you that from day one. Day one. It was very obvious. Like, okay, we're going on about these text messages a little bit too much. I'll be honest with you, I'm not that concerned. I really don't care that much about the text messages. I don't think it really impacts a goddamn thing. I think they're still talking behind closed doors. It might just be only 4 of them, right? But really, what difference does it make? You know what I'm saying? What difference does it make? I don't know. Terrence Grax is in the house. He writes, good morning, happy Friday. Same to you, brother. Beowulf writes, good morning, Choppers. Tamaya is trifling. We can qualify this mess as political all we want, but the council member is setting a bad example and furthering my theory of this generation of black women is for the birds. No disrespect to you hard-working dames doing your thing, but Tamaya is trash, he writes. Is that right? Well, I disagree with that. I disagree with that vehemently.
Go! Get to the chopper!
Miss Tiffany writes, good morning. Sharp writes, good morning, TGIF. Cassandra writes, hey, choppers, happy Friday. Pat writes, good morning. Kush writes, good morning, Nate, and the choppers with a Z. Karamia writes, good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning. Drops in the house, Drop Squad 52, that is. He writes, not to be confused with Drop Squad 51. He writes, good morning, choppers. Now in day 4 of the impeachment of President Trump, this is how America thinks of the desperate Democrats' sham trial. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. Is that right, Drop? You just never going to stop, are you? Mason Marler writes, I dance for text messages. It's an inside thing. Drop writes, shout out to the alt middle. Nice opening statement, Broadway flow. Black Russia writes, good morning. If the Gang of Five situation was resolved, Councilwoman Denard wouldn't be getting served at City Hall by the Ohio State Auditor. Hashtag alt middle. Yeah, I bet you love that, don't you? Mike Davis writes, rise and shine, young stars. Beowulf writes, that shirt makes me think you went school shopping with the Fresh Prince and his mom at the Gallery Mall. I don't know what you're talking about. Jackie Jones writes, Yellow Pain, My Vote Don't Count, a great song. Yes, it is. That's the name of the artist, Yellow Pain. We played it yesterday. My Vote Don't Count. Super nice. I like it. Fire. Drop writes, Mr. Marler can't wait to hear you defend Pencil Neck Adam Schiff and his motley crew of impeachment managers. Well, I'm listening to NPR, I'm listening to NPR yesterday, and they're having the kind of conversations that we are. The question is, so what does this all mean? Because everybody knows that this is going to end in an acquittal. I don't care if they have witnesses. See, if they have witnesses, it puts more pressure on the senators. Like, everybody knows at the end of the day, Trump's probably going to be acquitted. But the issue is will this put pressure on some of these Republican senators? And, so far it seems to me as if the Democrats are making an appeal to the public. And going into this, there's two ways of looking at it, right? Like, one way of looking at it, like who is the audience for this impeachment for the Democrats? Is the Democrats' audience the American people? The electorate, to put pressure on those senators from the people? Or, because I think they had options, or is it the 4 Republican senators who could swing it either way? And depending on what your target is, they'll tell you what your approach is going to be, right? I think we can all agree on that. And so far, from what I see, their approach is an appeal to the country, right? They're appealing to the country, they're appealing to the electorate, and then they want us to put pressure on our senators to open it up for a couple things. One, for the idea that Trump just won't get acquitted. And then 2, or maybe 1 would be the idea that they will have witnesses. Which, why would the Democrats want witnesses? Because it puts the argument, it makes it more compelling, and it makes a more compelling case. Like, I'm in the media and I'm watching it. And it's kind of like a job. It's like I'm doing it because I have to, because I don't really want to pay attention to it. I'll be honest with you at this point, kind of. But there's some people, man, this is their OJ trial. For some people, this is their OJ trial. They are wall to wall. From the windows to the wall. Right? They are all the way with it. I'm not that person. Well, not naturally anyway. For this particular issue, because I feel like I know how it's going to end. But if the Democrats put together a compelling case, will that put pressure on some of the Republican senators to be more open to the idea of not just giving Trump an acquittal? I don't know. I think it's a stretch. It's an election year. I think it's a stretch. I don't care how compelling it is. I just don't see these people. We're so partisan right now, like uber partisan shit. Everybody's uber partisan right now. I just don't see the Republicans shooting themselves in the foot like that right before an election. No matter how uncouth, no matter how off the cuff, abnormal, or whatever you want to, how you want to describe the president's actions, no matter how weird or whatever he gets improper, why would you bite the hand that could feed you? I just don't see it. But perhaps you do. 513-873-7134. Miss Tiffany writes, well, hey, they are here illegally. What's the problem? You know what, Tiffany? I was wondering if somebody was going to have that opinion. And okay, I get it. They're here illegally. That's what you should do, right? But ICE has such a bad... So I'm trying to figure out what people's problem is with Robert Ruhlman. So he's within the law. That's within his purview. He's allowed to do it. They're here illegally. What's wrong with him calling ICE? Or is it because Robert Ruhlman and his reputation that people are just jumping on board and criticizing him? Like, is there any real damage that's done to the community in any level because Robert Ruhlman is calling ICE on people he think are illegal? Now, what's not in the story, and I think is really important, is he says he calls ICE 10 to 20 times, right? What happens? What's his track record? I mean, is he like 20 for 20? Or because if he's 20 for 20 and these individuals are illegal and should be removed from the country, well, like Ms. D said, what's the problem? Just asking. Yeah. Thank you. Not going so well for the Republicans. Here are the facts for Gilligan's and the Hercules crowd. For Donald Trump's impeachment trial, conservative groups decided that ad buys attacking Democrats weren't enough. They wanted Republicans to hear from the president's supporters in person. Their message, acquit Trump now, don't call witnesses. The effort is part of a blitz of moderate senators from conservative groups that involves office visits, phone calls, and TV and digital ads. The groups are hoping that by persuading a few Democrats to join an almost lockstep Republican Party. Okay. Is that right? Let me see. Mason Mahler writes, the audacity of the Democratic Party asking for witnesses, facts, and first-person testimonies for a trial. Are they effing crazy? Question mark. I don't know. I know. Not I don't know. I know. 79% of the American people want to see witnesses. Must be a setup because that's the way this happened in real life, especially for black folks. Happens all the time. LMBAO at conservatives on a daily basis. Let me see. Let me back up here. I think I just flashed forward. Wendy's in the house. Hey, good to see you, Wendy. Brian's in the house. He's right. Good morning. Imagine that. The conservative Republican racist radio stations having fun at the expense of a black woman, Tamaya Dennard. Right. I mean, she's a focal point because that's what happens in this city when you stick your head out. That's why a lot of people don't want to stick their head out. Somebody try to chop it off. That's all that's going on. Black Russia writes, the Gang of Five brought it all on themselves. They coordinated their position on Harry Black and got busted. Voters remembered this in 2021. Councilman Dennard might not get reelected in 2021. Well, I mean, I think that's what you want people to think, Black Russia, but of course that's not true. That's not true. This was a politically coordinated hit job by friends of Christopher Smitherman back when he was thinking about running for mayor. I guess he figured, I'll go ahead and try to put some dirt on the game and the name of who he thought could be his opponent. And that's what it's all about. Because what you're saying is not really okay. So let's say they coordinated position on Harry Black and got busted. That's what you say. Well, there's an element of truth in that. You're right. But I still argue in terms of me as a Cincinnatian, raising a family, what difference does it make? So 5 people came together and voiced how they felt about something. They all agreed naturally. So I don't get it. I don't understand it. Again, I remember reading some of those text messages. I remember, man, you can't lie about what was inside of them. If you go back and look at those text messages, what you're going to see is 5 people who came together who already had their opinion together. That's what happens. They already had their minds made up individually. That's why I've always said I just don't understand. Like, if you go back and listen and read the text messages, it wasn't like you had one member who was kind of on the fence and the others were twisting his arm like, no. That's not what happened. They already felt the same way about Harry Black, that it was some BS, as it was from John Cranley. I mean, let's not forget how this whole thing started. This whole thing started because the former black city manager, now our current city manager, he ain't gonna stick his neck out. I can see that already. He ain't in the media. He ain't got nothing to say unless it's his turn to speak. You know, it's the truth. And the former city manager was on some other ish. Harry Black, he went to the media and said that there was a coordinated attempt by a racist attempt, is what he said, to get rid of the current police chief, who was a black man, Chief Elliot Isaac. And whether you think he's doing a good job or not, these are the facts. This is what happened. Within a couple weeks after that, all of a sudden, the mayor had the biggest problem in the world with him. He had to go. And we start hearing about shit that don't really matter, like he took a drink in Denver or he's got a drinking problem. Okay. Got a drinking problem. How's that manifesting on the job? The only example they could give us was 3 years ago on a business trip in Denver. You know, he got a little too friendly. Okay. Not a good look. You should never do it. But all of a sudden this comes up. That's what happened. Now, as whether it was handled correctly or not in terms of the taxpayer dollars, I mean, we can argue back and forth, but that's what they were debating. They weren't debating like development or something that was going to directly impact a black community and that's not what happened. So it was a technicality, but you know how the world is. Anybody who's ever had a job before knows that when they start talking to you, like when your boss, supervisor, whatever, manager starts talking about technicalities, they trying to get you. Technicalities. Minutia. When did we start giving a damn about that? And what I would say is that to me, there's little difference between I wouldn't care if it was 7-member city council and 3-member city council text messaging. I know that one is the majority and it's not, and I understand the philosophy, but I still don't understand what the big deal is. I just don't get it. So, I mean, just think about this. So you telling me as a member of city council, let's say I'm a member of city council and I'm trying to convince my colleagues to do something. So I can have a meeting with 3 of them at one time. So me and 3 other councilmen, that's 4 of us. I can have a meeting with 3 of them at one time, and that's cool. I just can't have a meeting with 5 of them at one time. But what's the damn difference? Like, if I'm trying to convince a member of city council and I have lunch with you face to face, I could just go to every member of city council individually and try to get them on board. What is the damn difference as opposed to doing it all at one time in one meeting? I don't see in terms of the spirit of it and the practicality of it, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. Because if the idea is that they shouldn't be talking about things before they get to city council, that's not really the idea. Because we all know they do talk about these policies and ideas and where do you stand and why do you stand here. And of course they're going to talk about those kind of things. You just can't do it with a majority. And I think that that's a very small line, in my opinion, in terms of me as a member living here in Cincinnati. I'm still struggling to understand what the significance. And I know other people try to make it into something that they were trying to make it about freedom of the press or something like that. Well, I don't understand how that's not freedom of the press. But it is what it is. We can have different opinions. So, I mean, just think about this. So you telling me as a member of city council, let's say I'm a member of city council and I'm trying to convince my colleagues to do something. So I can have a meeting with 3 of them at one time. So me and 3 other councilmen, that's 4 of us. I can have a meeting with 5 of them at one time. But what's the damn difference? Like, if I'm trying to convince a member of city council and I have lunch with you face to face, I could just go to every member of city council individually and try to get them on board. What is the damn difference? But it is what it is. We can have different opinions. Let me see. Terrence Rice Davis, there's a full-blown cover-up going on. It is a threat to our free and fair elections. Putin rigs elections in his country. We can't continue to be the leader of the free world if we allow this to be acceptable behavior. Bill Clinton lied about having sexual relations with Monica Lewinsky, and he was impeached by Republicans. Donald Trump tried to use the power of the United States to coerce, to force, to strong arm another country, an ally, by the way, that's at war with Russia, by the way, the same people that are about to attack us again in 2020. They're about to attack our election again because Trump has made sure that instead of focusing on election security, we've been focusing on all of his fantasies and all the different little and trivial and tweets and all the dumb ish he does. But I'll say Bill Clinton was impeached because he lied to the FBI about having sexual relations with Monica Lewinsky. Had he just told the truth in that deposition, he never would have been impeached. Over sex. With a consensual sex, by the way. Now, Monica Lewinsky's been running around here trying to attach herself to the Me Too, but that was consensual. You know, you wanted to be with the president. I get it. Some women are drawn to men who appear to have power. I get it. That's your personal business. I'm not here to hate on her. Donald Trump thinks that the United States the government is an extension of his business. He thinks that he can run the country the way he runs, Trump University or, Trump Inc. or Trump Towers. But no. Could you imagine Obama doing this? Could you imagine the Republicans who are now making up all these fantasies to protect Trump? Could you imagine what they would say if Obama had done the same thing? I mean, they would have stopped short of committing suicide on national television. I say stop short because they love their lives as political elites. They're not going to give it up just because Obama's in the White House, but they would have stopped short of public suicide to make the point that Obama has to be stopped and the future of our children and blah, blah, blah. I mean, they can play that doom and gloom real good. They play it real good. Isn't it amazing? Some people seem more adamant about text messages than they are to see witness testimony for impeachment. Hashtag spec. Hey, TNT's in the house. She writes, good morning. Good to see you, TNT. Yeah, Terrence is thanking her and the NAACP for the town hall last night. Cam writes, Smitherman is the Uncle Ruckus of Cincinnati politics, tricks, very dangerous to the so-called black communities. You Negroes will respect the hand of Smitherman, or else he says. Hashtag Gang of Five. Nobody has uttered the word Gang of Five more than Christopher Smitherman. When Wendell Young said that, or it was read in the text messages, and he was the only one who said it, Christopher Smitherman and Brian Shrive and the Republican Party have been running with it ever since. And in lieu of talking about substantive issues that really matter to Cincinnatians. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you got a choice about what you're going to focus on if you're on council. You can focus on substance or you can focus on sizzle. And some folks have decided to focus on the sizzle. I mean, really, somebody should ask Christopher Smitherman, what has he done? Like, what has he done since he's been on city council? Like, what has he done? What can he point to say, listen, I inspired in this, and other than taking us from 4 years to 2 years and being the poster child in that effort for the local business elites that had a problem with city council members holding up FC Cincinnati and talking about memorandums of understandings and community agreements. I mean, wait a minute, what are you talking about here? We're used to just doing what we want to do. You're supposed to rubber stamp it. Terrence writes, Nate, he didn't even try. He did it and got caught. Black Russia writes, oh, so Nathan went Hillary Clinton on us? What difference does it make? Well, no, actually, I'm going Black Russia because you were the person who last week we were talking about, with the brother, what's his name, Jeff Pastor X, when he said that he wanted to change the name of McMicken, you were like, oh, this is a small issue. Okay. All right. Well, I think the text messages is I think that the changing the name of McMicken is far more significant to me than text messages. I'm just sorry. I'm sorry. That's already been resolved. I'm just saying. I see Black Russia's taking some shots at the NAACP. See, Donald Trump has been accused of sexual assault 21 times. Yeah, I'll take the alternative to that piece of ish. I'm just saying. Hashtag grab him by the what? Question mark, end quote. Jerica's in the house. She writes, hola, beautiful black people and the others too. That was at about, 8:55, just a few minutes ago. Hey, good to see you, Jerica. So far, we've been talking about Tamaya Dennard and the way that the media has been trying to portray her in a very negative way ever since, even before she got elected. Because they could see what was coming, like, oh, dear Lord, she's going to be down here talking about, don't white-splain to me. Down here holding up development, asking questions. Down here asking questions and trying to hold the United Way accountable. Who do you think you are? Listen, don't think that who do you think you are mentality don't still exist here in this city, because it does. I mean, someone recently told me a story, and I'll leave it just like that because it's not my story to tell, that is one of those kind of like, who do you think you are? It's a person of color, a black person. And it's kind of like a who do you think you are kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? You ever had that kind of interaction? Again, I remember talking with Cathy Y Wilson many years ago. Black female. She used to write ill doctrine for the Cincinnati Beat. And the halcyon years of the Cincinnati Beat publication, in my opinion, is when Cathy Y Wilson was still doing her weekly column, Your Negro, Not Your Negro Tour Guide. Matter of fact, I've got her book in my signed and everything in my personal library. Very fond of it. Hope she's doing well. And I know she's dealing with some health issues right now. Hope she pulls out. Keep fighting. Anyway, I remember talking with her. I told this maybe last week. I remember saying this, but she was like, people have asked her, like, why would the CDB magazine let you say all that stuff? Let you? What you mean? That's what you mean, let. But see, there's some black people that's got that mentality, like, you shouldn't open a business in a certain part of town because the white folks may not like it. Oh, they might not like you. Would you open? Don't show them you smart. Don't show them you smart. There's some people out there with that mentality. I won't say no names. I won't say any names. Hey, Mr. Avery's in the house. What's going on, Mr. Avery? That cool ass avatar, man. 100 years from now, that's still gonna be a cool ass avatar. Let me see. Black Russia writes, no, you can't, Nathan, do that either. That's called round robin. Hashtag gang of five. Oh, okay. Mike Davis writes, anybody watch that Frontline special on PBS, America's Great Divide, from Obama to Trump? Fire. I did not, but PBS does. I love Frontline. I loved it when Bill Moyers was there. Loved it. Love Frontline. Great TV right there. It's been a minute, though. It's been a minute. I haven't really, it's been a minute since I watched the front. Maybe I'm lying, actually, because I don't know. My internet habits is so, what's the word? ADHD, right? I'm here, I'm there, I'm here, I'm here, I'm there. I'm jumping around to a lot of different spots. As Shula Israel writes, I find it interesting how right-wing news has stopped trying to defend even the process of the impeachment and have now begun to say that the trial is boring. It makes me wonder if Trump blockers in the chop shop are black. My emojis look like me. How can a black man argue for no witnesses and tangible written evidence in the trial of a white man that will not even conclude with jail time, but losing their position? If it were you, what would they do? Question mark. Bring out all the evidence that they have and what they don't to remove you. What self-hate and double standards? She coming in flame throwing. Good morning. Good to see you.
Go! Get to the chopper!
Let's get to the choppers then. Terrence writes, Nate, quote, I'm going Black Russia. No, Nate, don't join the dark side. No, I just meant that in the sense that using one of his points. That was the point he was saying last week. Like, to me, I think that a lot of what city council talks about is important. It's important to somebody. It may not be like number one on everybody's list. But I thought the whole, not respecting races locally was good for the culture. But somebody told me I was wrong. Let's go straight to the phones this morning. Let's take our first call. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Guy.
Hey, welcome, buddy.
Yeah. Hey, first things first. Hey, can I hit you up after the show?
Absolutely.
About 10 minutes of your time. That's
Sure.
all I need.
Sure.
Okay. Now, secondly, I really wish you would change your take on this Gang of Five situation, or at least your reasoning, saying, well, text messages wasn't out when this law was made. I think that's weak. You're better than that.
Well, that wasn't my best point. That wasn't my best
but
point.
It's the point you're making. It's a point you're making. And
Yeah,
I really wish
it's
you
one
would
of
stop.
it's on the bullet. It's on the bullet. It's a bullet point, right? But it's not my strongest.
I mean, because under that reasoning, that's why they deny us reparations. That's one of the reasons they deny us reparations. Well, slavery was legal back then. And that's why I'm like, every time you say that, it's like nails on the chalkboard. When you say, well, text messages wasn't a part of this law. They didn't have a forward thinking for the technology. It really does irk me.
I disagree with your comparison to reparations. I disagree with the comparison to reparations. I think it's a bad comparison.
I figured you would. But that's why it's a talk show. If you agreed with it, what was the point of me calling, right?
That's one way of looking at it. Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I think Tamaya is setting a bad. I mean, yeah, she like my brethren so poignantly said. She avoided the public embarrassment, but she made it worse at the same time because, as a city administrator, she has a duty to be honest and truthful with the media. And to say that to a reporter, I don't like you. When I was a daily beat reporter for the schools, I wish somebody would have said that to me.
Well, what makes
the
you think
ghetto
she
would have
wasn't
came
being
out of
honest?
me quick.
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. But what makes you think she wasn't being honest?
I mean, by ducking the media.
No,
it's like, okay, you're ducking this process server. Just get it over with, hon.
The media, Sharon Coolidge asked her, why weren't you there? She said, I don't like you.
I mean, is that a quote that you want to go out in the media?
Well, the question
is really
it honest?
The best quote that you want from a? Is that what you want to hear from a city administrator?
Is it honest? I mean, originally when you came up, you said that she was being dishonest with the media.
Interpersonal relationship. Coolidge is not there to build a personal relationship. She ain't asking you to go out She ain't asking you to go out clubbing. She want to know about your city administration style. That's all. She ain't trying to hang with you. You know what I'm saying? It was, and there's a thread of tweets of other people that are saying she did the same thing to them. The Castelli guy said keep talking about me, you little bitch. I was like, damn. I was like, well, she must have like your.
But Castelli, isn't that one of Smitherman's guys? Castelli.
No, he's not. He's a demo. He's a Democrat. He's the guy who went off on the Gang of Five at the public portion.
Yeah, it's one of Smitherman's
young
dudes.
White guy.
That's one. He runs with Black Russia now.
I didn't know. I didn't take him to be a Smitherman guy.
Yeah.
But okay, if he is, so what? I said,
he runs with the Mac
maybe
boys.
She didn't like your address to the. I'm sorry.
He runs with the Mac boys. He's cool with the Mac twins.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I know that much.
Right.
Yeah, I do know that
and
much.
And the
like
Mac
said,
twins don't like none of the Democrats because of what happened with the brother who was trying to get appointed to the sorter. He was trying to get appointed to the sorter board, and Wendell Young ran his ass down, and they all voted against him.
Karma,
so you know they don't like him.
Karma is a funky bitch, ain't she?
So I'm just saying, just know who you're talking about. Castelli is cool with them, so I'm not surprised he's got a problem with Tamaya.
Well, let me finish. I said, well, maybe she didn't like your address to the city council about the Gang of Five issue. He was like, this was way before that when she said that to me. Then some other white dude said she came in to their office it was something politically related. She came to their office about something or another, and she was cold and evil to everybody, and she was never invited back.
I think Castelli is a wolf
when you do this type of stuff, the moral of what I'm saying is when you do this type of stuff, everybody's going to pile on. Just
people
saying,
already been piling on.
Business.
People already been piling on with her. This ain't nothing new.
Okay, then somebody put on Twitter last night that she's got personal financial troubles. Who
put it on Twitter?
Somebody she defaulted on a loan.
Who put that on Twitter?
A person. You'll have to go find it. I mean, because apparently
did you retweet it? I'm on Twitter right now.
I might have. I think I just kind of commented on it. But that's what I'm saying. Like that cost Curtis Fuller an election. People bringing up his personal.
That's not what cost Curtis Fuller. What cost Curtis Fuller the election?
Child support?
Nah,
the child support thing.
Nah, that's not what cost him.
Issue.
That's not what cost him.
What would cost him?
What election you talking about? When he ran for mayor?
Yeah, against Lucan.
Well, what cost him is that image in the Inquirer when he was out there with the protesters. That's what cost him. Have you forgotten that?
And the child support.
Nah, it was that image of him in the streets with the protesters, with the brothers and sisters that was sick and tired of this city. And some of the brothers had they had their faces masked, and that's what people used against them. That image right there.
And they also used the child support, the images of the deadbeat black dad, that stereotype.
But what's it all got to do with Tamaya Denard? Oh, here it is.
Tamaya and her personal finances, yeah. Has a lot to do. Like if you ain't got your personal affairs in order, how can you run the city?
I mean, who's to say that her personal affairs aren't in order? Well, I'm looking at it right now. Tony Castelli.
What the hell is that bank suing her for?
I don't know if he's being sued or not. I haven't seen it. I'm looking for it. Rayshawn Mack liked it. I wasn't surprised to hear that. Okay, he writes a few months ago. He wrote this 12 hours ago on Twitter, Tony Castelli, and I think we follow each other on Facebook and Twitter. I never met the guy though. A few months ago, on the steps of council, she was leaving. He said, "Have a nice day, Councilwoman." Apparently, he says that she responded, quote, "Why don't you go talk more shit about me, you little bitch?" He writes, up to that point, I had never said anything about her. Yeah, but they've been running and popping, man. Why do you think that people don't see the shit that people put on Twitter? I even see it even about me.
Nathan,
what?
Twitter is a public forum. When you're in public leadership, people are going to dish you. It's like BDP. You gotta have style and learn to be original.
Yeah,
everybody's
but you know what?
Want to dish you.
It's a difference in somebody being critical. It's difference. People. I don't know why people think people stupid. We all grown. Don't you know the difference when somebody? Listen. Don't you know the difference when somebody's trying to give you a critique and when somebody trying to critique you and really trying to do some fuckery? Don't you know the difference?
I do know the difference.
And she does too.
Democrats and Republicans.
And she does too.
Like a Democrat who wants everybody to be treated so specially and leave this and that alone, when the Republicans play to win, like you always say. And doing what she's doing is not playing to win. Okay, that's that. Just hey, sweetie, get your personal affairs in order before you try to run the city. Quit being cold and mean to the media. Even if somebody is on or you find somebody to be an op, you're a city administrator. Don't be talking greasy to him. You'd have been just as good as just walking by him. That kid's 23 years old. I mean, that guy is real young. Castelli.
What kid? Tony Castelli?
The guy who she said keep talking about me, you little bitch. That guy's only like, he's not even 25.
Man, I don't know why you're trying to vilify this because I don't know him. But I've just seen some of the comments, even going back to the last election. You know what I'm saying? I remember the comments. And you can see this and you can see where it's going and what people's bias is and all this kind of stuff. So if I can see it and it's not about me, I'm sure she can too. Like I said, grown people know the difference between somebody trying to get him some honest critique and somebody trying to use the critique and take a jab. People know the difference.
All I'm saying is.
And she knows the difference.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
Yes, people do know the difference. All I'm saying is, Tamaya, carry yourself with a little more gravitas.
And you of all people got the nerve to say that.
Am I a fucking city administrator or just a caller to your talk show? Huh?
I would never say just a caller to the show.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't mean. Okay, yeah, that kind of belittles your show. I apologize.
Well, I mean, it belittles your impact on the show. I would never say just.
No, okay. Am I a city administrator or a longtime listener of a guy who was in commercial radio and now doing his own thing on a podcast?
We know the answer to it. Your question.
Okay, then. So therefore, I don't need to carry myself with gravitas. I'm not asking for nobody's votes. I don't need likability. She does. Being attacked by the other side, the people who don't vote for you, the people who don't want you, that's part and parcel to the game of politics. Maybe it's like he said on The Wire. You wanted to be in the game, now you're in the game. You feel me? This is part for the course. Other side attacking you.
So isn't he the same dude that got some who made some statement about the Gang of Five or something like that? Isn't that the same guy?
Yes, he's the same guy that in the public forum in the public portion of the city council meeting said, he basically, he went off at PG real good, got in PG real good.
Ooh, did he?
Mentioned all of them.
I am so shocked to hear that.
Running for office. He's the same guy who is not a public.
But he's one of Smitherman's goons. But see, what I'm saying is you're trying to legitimize the viewpoint of one of Smitherman's goons. That's not how that works.
I'm not.
You are.
Who cares if Smitherman has goons? Who cares?
I'm just saying.
He's the one.
You're trying to make it seem like he's just some honest, innocent bystander who just is an observer of city council and has an opinion, and that's not who this dude is.
I like the guy. I enjoy his Twitter. Whether he's when I'm schooling him on hip hop story songs.
Right. I'm sure he's a good guy. I have nothing negative to say about him. But I mean,
or he's talking politics. I enjoy him. He's a well-rounded guy.
He seems like a hell of a guy. Seems like a hell of a guy. I have nothing negative to say about that man.
At the same time,
he's a Smitherman Twitter goon.
Policymaker.
Yeah, but he's a Smitherman Twitter goon.
Policymaker.
You can't legitimize Twitter goons on the Nathan Ivey Show. I know better. I know better.
We could talk Twitter goons. Listen. We could talk Twitter goons all we want, or what you classify as a Twitter goon, but the fact remains, she is the publicly elected official who's supposed to be a voice for the voiceless, but remains silent. That's all.
You so caught up with your theory that you can't even see when a black woman is under attack. Like you so caught up with your theories that you can't even see a black woman who's under attack. It's a damn shame.
I don't see a black woman. I see a elected official. That's what I see. Okay?
Okay, well, let me correct it. So you're so caught up in your bag this morning that you can't even see a black female elected official who's under attack.
You knew you were a black female when you were elected. As I said, from the fictional attorney, Maurice Levy, when he was talking to Orlando on The Wire, the club owner who got arrested for trying to sell weight. You wanted to be in the game. Now you're in the game. This is part of it. Humble yourself. Carry yourself with some more gravitas. Don't have personal grievances with. When I was a beat reporter, there were people who I know didn't like me, especially in these two particular towns. I know they didn't like me, but they knew they had an order, a duty to speak to me. I knew I had a duty to talk to them. And it was what it was. I kept all personal references and all that out of it. All slights. I still got my digital recorder from back then. I could play you all those slights that they made during those interviews at me. Okay, great. Why did the school board want to take this school out? That's all I want to know. I don't care about what you think about me. Same thing with Tamaya. The Gang of Five, this ain't going away, B. Black woman, whatever, it ain't going away. And now you got all the news stations and the local paper of record in your ass now. That's all. Now, as far as Judge Ruhlman, you're right. Those people are here illegally, and that's within his purview to do that. But it also lends itself to wondering, does he use race and ethnicity in his sentencing and opinions? He would take it upon himself to call the feds on some of his suspects. That's what that lends itself to when he does that. So that's why he endangered himself. But you poignantly said on this show, well, he should be able to do that, protecting the white man. That's what you did. In your opening monologue was protecting that white man. You don't remember that?
Oh, now I'm protecting the white man. Okay.
Well, you were? I mean, you said, well, that's in his purview.
I'm not sure that's how I said it. And if I did, please send me a text and check me next time, okay? I don't know. Hopefully I didn't sound like that. Anything else, sir?
You agree with the woman? I mean, yeah, it is true. It's in his purview, yeah, and then they are here illegally. Somebody needs to be notified, but it lends itself to a voter wondering, like, how much is he, is he on the low violating rights and using race and ethnicity in his sentencing? Because if you've ever been in anybody who goes before a white judge, any black person that goes before a white judge, that's the first thing they thinking. Like, this white man about to take me up top. So he kind of endangers himself by letting that known. Now he's a political target.
Something tells me he's not going to get the attention Tamaya Dennard is, though. Oh,
we know that. Again, that's part of the game.
That's part of the game.
That's part of the game.
Yeah.
That's a part of the game that we've got to find a better way to negotiate other than marching and singing.
Right.
Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. No, we need to do better than that.
What did the bounty hunter say to the slave when he caught him and returned him back to the plantation?
He said, "Oh!"
He said, that's part of the game. That's what he said. That's part of the game. So we should just accept it. That black man right there, man. That man. I feel like my work is not done. I just can't let him be out here just naked. You know what I'm saying? With nobody telling him the truth. Are you afraid of the coronavirus? The coronavirus, it came over from China. And now they've had some of the first cases here in the United States. These viruses, man, I don't know what's going to take us out. Will it be a virus? Will it be an asteroid? Will it be Donald Trump? 14, I hesitate to tell you this. Because, I mean, you never know. Do you have the coronavirus? They say that one of the symptoms is fatigue. That'll be easy to determine. Yeah, so far it's killed 26 people. And it's spreading. Is it something that you even think of at this point? It can infect people and animals. Like, if you consume an animal, can you get the coronavirus? Apparently, there's multiple strains. There's like 5 different strains. Couldn't just be one. Let's go straight to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Nathan, it's Tracy. Happy Friday. How are you?
I'm doing great. Happy Friday. Welcome.
I was in the house last night with some more heavy hitters in the political world. Last night at Mardi Gras of Madison, there was a campaign kickoff for Magistrate Nicole Sanders, who is running for common pleas judge for the drug court. I didn't even know that there was a drug court. And she actually asked that question in the room, how many people actually knew that there was a drug court. And it was really nice. It was packed. You know, you had everybody there. Fanon and Gabe was there. Alicia Reese was there. The woman that's running for the sheriff was there. The woman that's running for Senate, I believe, Kate, she was there. It was just packed full of people. That was like my second time being at Mardi Gras in Madison. But I think, you know, Nicole is a very strong candidate, and she has a real possibility of winning. So you might want to get her on your show as well.
Oh, for sure.
But
oh, yeah.
I think everybody was running from there over to NAACP to that meeting. It seemed like there was a lot going on last night because I think somebody else had a kickoff too. So it was a pretty interesting night, and everybody was fired up. You got some black women out here trying to make some moves, you know, in these primaries. So you know, there's definitely some key black women to watch. But I just wanted to put that out there.
Oh, yeah. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. And I will.
All right. If you need to figure out how to get in touch with her, just let me know, and I can put you in touch with her.
Okay. All right. Will do. Thank you.
All right. Have a good one.
Yeah, most def. I think she was talking about Kate Schroeder, who's running for Congress. Oh, yeah. I'll make the rounds. Believe me, I'll put the invitation in. As to whether the people come on the show or not, that's up to them. But some very interesting races, you know, not just the big races. Like we're talking about Hamilton County Commissioner and things like that, and prosecutor. Oh, no. There's a lot of interesting races, including the Ohio 1st District. Matter of fact, just last night I did my first polling call. They called me and asked me if I was a registered voter. I told them, yes, I am. And they started asking me about the 1st Congressional District, as a matter of fact. Yeah, so we got a lot of ground to cover. So if you're into local politics, if you are looking to, you know, get a better handle on these individuals, keep listening to the Nathan Ivey Show. You know, we'll be front and center to have those conversations here on the show. And you can always interact. You know, I'll put your questions out there. Sister V writes, Hotep wonderful people, happy Friday, hashtag impeach the MF. Mason Roller writes, damn, breaking news. Apparently, according to the 5th Lieutenant, Hillary has been accused of sexual assault. Didn't know that. Hillary Clinton or Hillary Duff? Like she's an actress or some shit. I don't know. What? You had to send that link. I'm not following that. I don't see that anywhere. I mean, this Hillary obsession is only because Hillary was good enough to become the president and is sexist. That's why people are still caught on Hillary. The people still talking about Hillary are people that are sexist and or they are part of the Republican echo media chamber. And, you know, this is what they do because Hillary Clinton is irrelevant. She's irrelevant. But back to that Twitter account. That's hilarious. Why don't you go talk more shit about me, you little bitch? I mean, damn. I mean, straight to the point. And again, I don't know the nature of the relationship. You know, maybe he deserved to be talked to like that. I don't know. I see there's some comments on here. I'm trying to read these comments. Somebody writes, Jeff Capel, that's some really poor behavior on her part. The least an elected official can do at their own city hall is to give a short hi to those who address them, even if they otherwise aren't chatty with the person. Let me see here. If someone hates me for a shitty reason, whatever, that's their prerogative, but officials need to have some sense of the greater. I've never made a personal diatribe against a local elected official, but they sure as hell act like I have. See. Somebody writes, I was in an elevator with her and Mr. Mann, as in David Amadeus Mann, at City Hall once. It was after a committee meeting, and I was one of the few, if any, in chamber. They both carried on a conversation as if I was invisible, not there. It spoke volumes to me. No, motherfucker, you just felt invisible with your weak ass. I feel invisible. Oh, they didn't recognize me. What the hell? Some people won't be happy until Tamaya Dennard is baking cookies. She got to bake you some cookies and put your little name on there. What's your initials? Put your initials on there, frosting. I can't believe this, man. This somebody named Steve Dieters. It could be a fake. Let me look at the image here. This could be fake. This could be Black Russia. You never know. It was an elevator with her and Mr. Mann. No, I was in an elevator. He actually wrote this 2 hours ago on Twitter. I was in an elevator, 4x4. Would you have a tape measure in your pocket? That's why I didn't talk to you, because you're looking fucking crazy with a tape measure hanging out your back pocket. And who knows what his facial expressions look like. Like, here we are. When did this happen? Like a year ago? I was in the elevator 4x4 with her and Mr. Mann at City Hall once. It was after a committee meeting, and I was one of the few, if any, in chambers. They both carried on the conversations as if I was invisible, not there. It spoke volumes to me. And spoke is in quotations because they didn't say a damn thing to him. Aw, he felt invisible. Somebody writes, what a class act, classless. I met her when she was in the firm I worked for to meet a judicial candidate. She was cold and rude to half our office. She was never invited back. Our city deserves better. So, like I said, there's no shortage of people. There's no shortage of people who have a problem with Tamaya Dennard. Some guy has a problem with Tamaya Dennard because she was talking business with her colleague and she didn't bake some cookies for him. I mean, come on, man. I don't know the nature of these conversations. Maybe y'all deserved it. That's all I can say. I don't know. All I'm saying is that when somebody's got a problem with you, it's real easy for them to find something to talk about, whether it's significant or insignificant. That's what I see. But what do you see? Black Russia writes, man, F the impeachment. Senate won't convict. See you in November when people will decide who the president will be. Terrence Grasson writes, drop. Nobody is embarrassed. It is embarrassing watching people assert that Trump's behavior is acceptable and is suitable for the world's most deliberative body. Just close the shutters on truly serving this country. Jericho writes, has anyone watched the PBS documentary about Dayton, the city America left behind? If not, you should. There it is, another PBS. I have not, Jericho. Is it good? I'll put it on my list. TNT writes, thanks, Terrence, for being there. Cedric Denson, Kelly Prather, Alicia Reese, Gabe Davis, Attorney Jennifer Branch running for judge, and Councilman Greg Landsman. It was a great turnout. Saw some choppers, too. The people left more informed than when they came. Man, it's great. It sounds absolutely great. Great to hear it. The fact that Republicans can do this in plain sight shows you how 2020 is going to pan out. Tony's in the house. He writes, good morning. Let me see here. Cam writes, the Gang of Five was manufactured by Smitherman and his evil and wicked counterparts. You don't need Scooby-Doo and the Mystery Machine to figure that out. And Mason Marler writes, not today, colonizer. That was a great line in Black Panther. She said, like, something colonizer. I'm like, whoa. Black Russia's trying to badmouth the event last night. You weren't even there. Black Russia writes, Cam, the Gang of Five was manufactured by P.G. Sittenfield, the chairman of the gang. The messages are clear that he was running the illegal meeting. Okay, man. Again, how does that matter to people that are worried about kitchen table issues? How does that put more money in the pocket of Cincinnatians? How does that increase the likelihood that if you're an African American and you grew up in Avondale, you're born in Avondale, that you're gonna live to at least to be 70? Right now, the life expectancy is 63. How is that going to close the gap in terms of, the amount of money that families are bringing home? There's a real gap between whites and non-whites, whites and blacks in this particular city of Cincinnati, the city of the future. I just don't see it hitting in those issues. I think if you're somebody, like if you're a Republican, I get it. If you're a Smitherman supporter, I get it. But outside of that, it just loses its importance. Right now you got Iris Rowley and Al Gerharstein with critical negotiations with the city about the collaborative, and not just that, but just the rules of engagements, right? The interactions between ourselves and local law enforcement. Mr. Smitherman is the chair of law and public safety. I would love to see him get 100% into that and to divest all this time and energy on this. And I understand the Ohio auditor's involved now, so it's kind of out of the city's hands, and it is what it is. But I'll say it again, the number one person that I hear talking about saying the phrase Gang of Five other than Black Russia, it's Smitherman. I don't hear anybody else saying it. On council, right? There's no one else on council who's talking about it. Amy Murray is a Republican. She ain't talking about it. Jeff Pastor is Republican. He ain't talking about it. So it is what it is. It becomes just a complete waste of time, but it is what it is. Tony Rice, Smitherman torpedoed the local NAACP, Cam. He tried to. He's tried to, but it didn't work. Because good people came in and said, you know what, we're going to make this work. That's why the NAACP has significance, because of what they do in our community. Efforts to try to educate and inform. Clue Magic writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Broadway writes, Ms. Dennard be out here talking shit in these streets. Well, I don't know. Maybe. Apparently so. I guess Fame thinks only Trump can talk that ish. Tony writes, of course they did, BR, when Tea Partiers were suddenly joining NAACP for the election. Short memory? Drop. I got the link. Okay, let me see who. I like it, man. I like it. I like that. You're right. Who could say it better? TNT writes, don't tell that to the state attorney general, who said the way Smitherman set up the scholarship was a violation. Beowulf writes, I will credit TNT for the event last night. Didn't know a venue changed until 6, so I couldn't stay long, but it was all right. Well, I mean, like any of these public venues, you need to support the community to get out there and get behind it. Great information. And, the NAACP's genuine effort is to just educate. They want to educate. Tony writes, I doubt it, Cold Blah. China shut down some of the most popular tourist events like the Chinese New Year celebration and tours to Disney World China and the Great Wall of China. I ain't hating on anybody that's ever been to Disney World, but I have absolutely me and my wife ain't never going to Disney World. Never. If my kids get to Disney World, it'll be because they take their asses themselves. Man, I've heard horror story. I don't know nobody that went to Disney World and had a good time. No, I'm talking about the parents anyway, not the kids. I mean, kids have a great time. People that live in Florida don't even go to Disney World. Spend $3,000 to go down there, and basically it's Kings Island. with Mickey Mouse. That's all. This is the only thing. That's the only difference. The only difference is because Disney has these properties. You're not going to see like Goofy and all the Disney characters at any other theme parks, right? Unless it's some kind of license. But in general, no. Man, you better get yourself a Mickey Mouse little Halloween costume and wear that motherfucker on the Beast at Kings Island. We ain't never going. If I have free tickets, I'm not going. I'm going to sell them motherfuckers and go somewhere I want to go. Kings Island, don't get me started. My wife and I just laugh. If you bring up Kings Island to us, we'll just laugh. We ain't got. I mean, Disney World, that's about it. Kings Island is all we need. Get up there, little Buddha does her thing. She almost loses her life like 5-6 times. We come home, it's a great time. Not doing it. Tony C. Rice, hey Nathan, was listening earlier when you were talking about Rulerman. Why aren't people more outraged by this shit? I don't like Gang of Five antics, but this grandstanding back then was gross. Want to find them? ? Cool. Why does the judge need headlines? Also, on Rulerman's comments about he calls ICE, it was equity. Judge, if he thinks I might be late on my taxes because I'm late on my court fees, is he calling the IRS? I'm a white guy in a suit. I doubt it. But for brown people, he has ICE on speed dial. Gross. What up, Tony? What up with you? Wait. Is this Tony Castelli? Oh, okay. What's up with you? What's up, man? We were just talking about you earlier. Yeah, I stand by everything I said. But yeah, we had a good little conversation, me and Beowulf. Not sure what the name is this week, fame. But back to Drop. Drop, man, that's great. I just retweeted it, man. I appreciate it. Somebody out here getting prolific. Man, we was talking about you and Tamaya Dennard. And you posted something on Twitter about how she said something to you. And so we've been talking about that. Let me see. Because that's what we do. My number is 513-873-7134. Feel free, man, to give me a call. We can chop it up. Let me see. Don't tell me. Okay, I think I read that already. Let's see. They're talking about scholarships. Oh, man. Let me see. Cam Rice, so-called blacks won't be destroyed by a virus, but by a lack of knowledge. Okay. Let me see. Oh, okay. Somebody says Tamaya's about to get evicted from her apartment. Is that right? I don't know the circumstances. Again, I know what it sounds like, but you know, what really goes on could be something completely different. So the NAACP is only for black Dems, Tony? Is that right? Okay, they're going hard back and forth. I didn't even need to read all of that. But as I said, there are people out there that have a serious problem with Tamaya Dennard. And they had a problem with Tamaya Dennard before she was even elected. And since she's been on city council and been asking questions and checking local authority and coming up with alternate ways of doing things, we've been doing the same things for 10, 15 years and getting the same results. There's some people that don't like it, evidenced by a couple things. Like I said, the efforts before she was even elected to smear her. Once she was elected, and it was her and her colleagues questioning FC Cincinnati, asking for community agreements and having a whole bunch of public meetings instead of just saying yes and rubber stamping, you know, whatever FC Cincinnati wanted. The local business community got together and they got behind an effort to go from 4-year terms to 2-year terms. They didn't ask us per se whether it was the right thing to do. They just put it on out there. And because there was chaos primarily caused by one individual, they used that same chaos to say that this is the reason why we need 2-year terms and not 4-year terms. To me, I just thought it was a mechanism of control, a way of controlling council, controlling who is on council, controlling the momentum of council. right? That's what it was. So, now with this whole thing with the text messages, which the Hamilton County Republican Party was a part of, local Republicans really love this. Now they've been able to get their colleagues on the state side to go along with it, right? And to me, who people have a problem with it, that means it matters when we have these state positions that are up. It matters who's the auditor, right? It matters who's the auditor. It matters who is the Secretary of State. I mean, all of these Ohio State positions mean a whole lot. And now we're seeing more evidence of it. I don't really have a problem with the comment that Councilwoman Denard made to the media. Right? She said, I don't like you. I mean, what's funny is that, you got people out there arguing that Councilwoman Denard is supposed to take every interview and just have more gravitas. Yeah, but ain't nobody saying that with Smitherman not talking with black media, not talking with me. I've reached out to his office. I've reached out to other folks. You know what I'm saying? So what difference does it make? You know what I'm saying? Wait a minute, let's keep it consistent. She don't like him. Simple as that. Maybe she has good reason to not like Sharon Coolidge. Maybe she's got her reasons. Could she have stopped and said hi? She could have, but she also could have picked up some cookies and brownies and dropped them off at her office too. And she could have did that as well. But what do you think? 513-873-7134. Just about 15 minutes left in the program as we get going this morning. It's been quite interesting. This morning. And if you're tuning in for the first time, go ahead and hit me over on Spreaker with a subscribe. Let me see. Tony writes, I don't think it's fair to pile on the councilwoman. She gives a damn about her folks. Her passion gets in the way of progress sometimes. I like her take no prisoner style. Frankly, when people are so often voting with the wind, her pro-people attitude is kind of refreshing. Why do we have to dig into her personal, private, financial life? ? Seems to me she has the same financial situation as a lot of people. She said a mean thing to me. Yeah, I don't know if it was fair. She told the press to leave her alone. I would do the same thing. Interesting. What do you say now, Fame? Interesting. Mike Davis, you got the truth from someone. Richardson didn't like the vice mayor's leadership, so his son and TNT were sent in to disrupt, and that's what they did. Is that right? Let me see. They're going back and forth. I won't get in the middle of that. So, Nathan, do you think China created a new virus because of Trump trade infractions or something like that? You talking about the coronavirus, whatever it's called? I've got no evidence to support that theory. That's the first time I've heard that. Do I think that some of these viruses could be man-made or to some degree manufactured? It's totally possible, but I don't have any evidence, no. China's going to win. Look, China is winning under Trump. Trump's talking a lot of shit and playing the isolationist game while China is making serious inroads into Africa. Africa is the future. Have you been seeing some of these advertisements come back to Ghana? You're going to see more of that. Africa is the future. The continent of Africa is the future. I'll say it that way. And China, from what I've read, has made serious inroads since Trump's been in office, talking a lot of dumb shit. Right? Also in the South Pacific Sea as well. So, I've even read that China has opened up some ancient trade routes. And they're creating new trade routes, new systems, right? New relationships. Meanwhile, Donald Trump's talking about America first, which sounds great, but we live in a global world. This is global. Think local, think global, act local. That's what it's all about. So I don't know. I think China's winning. He need to do a virus. But I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, look at the NBA. Look at just how much control that China has over the NBA. It's big. Beowulf Rice, I said what I said, talk show host again. I'm not running for office. I didn't put her finances in play. Just responding to a tweet I saw. Okay. Well, who put her finances in display? Who was the person that did it? Nobody wants to say it now? Yeah, that's why I jumped on Twitter. I jumped on Twitter to see who was the person that did that. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, if it's public record and somebody wants to spend the time to do it, you can't stop somebody from doing that. I mean, go right ahead. Do your thing, but I'm just curious. Like, who has that much venom toward her? I don't see it. I'm looking for it right now. Okay. I see Coast has retweeted that story from Sharon Coolidge on Twitter, I see. I see Black Russia's on here. He wrote 17 hours ago, this has to be the worst session of city council of all time. I mean, I don't know. It depends on what I don't know. I don't think so. Like, worst to me would be a council that's not really doing anything. They're just down there. They're not really doing anything. I'm not sure if that's how you would describe this particular council. But I think that if people have a bad impression of this council session, it's because of the individuals that comprise council. You know what I'm saying? There's a better way of doing it. You can disagree on particular issues without being disagreeable or kicking up dirt, but you know, it is what it is. See, Polly Carr. Who the hell is Polly Carr? Steve Dieters, Walt Davis, Robin, Rampant Reds fan, Braden Smith. Okay. Well, she got her fans over there. I'm sure they're loving it. China has been in Africa for years. They got 2010 articles of them being the new colonizers. I'm just telling you. Oh, thank you for the link, Broadway. Appreciate it. I'm just telling you what I've read. And really, I didn't even read it. It was a video. I mean, because just like, you know, PBS does these things, they also do things on YouTube. And there's other very credible sources with the resources to do it that are putting together these really great, like, news, platforms where they'll do like a medium dive into a topic for about 10 to 17 minutes, maybe a little bit longer than that. And they'll give you a deep dive on particular issues. And I watched one in which they talked about what was going on. Like, what is China doing right now? How is the trade war affecting them? Man, China is living their life like it's golden. They're living their best life under the Trump administration. All that tough talk means nothing. See here. Okay, well, we settled that. Oh, my God. TNT is going super hard. That is super. She is going super hard at Black Russia right now. I won't even get into it. If you want to read it, you got to jump in here yourself and check it out for yourself. They got some issues. Let's put it that way. They got some issues. Oh, interesting. Like it. If you missed it this week, go back and check out my Wednesday conversation with Kelly Prather. She's running for Hamilton County Commissioner. The conversation started at the 9 a.m. hour, so about an hour into it. And she talks about why she's running. She talks about her values. She talks about the differences, in her opinion, between herself and others. She talks about why she thinks she's uniquely qualified to be your Hamilton County Commissioner. And I do expect to have conversations with all of the candidates in that race and give them equal time on the platform to break down why they should get our vote. You know, if you are a Democrat, you got a big time decision to make. Oprah Winfrey Network canceled Pastor John Gray's TV show. Is that old news? Oh, this is new news. Damn, sorry to see that. Pastor John Gray has ties to the Cincinnati area, right? And he had a show called The Book of John Gray, which is a nice name. But he has some issues with his church. I don't know what's going on. They're talking about closing it down or something. I don't really know. It just wasn't really a good look. And now he's losing, what appeared to be his, money, because they're not going to pick his show up anymore. Now, you remember it was last year, or it was 2018, right? When he was showing off all his wealth and he bought his wife a $200,000 Lamborghini truck. A $200,000. Like, I can't imagine spending $200,000 on a car, on an automobile. Why not just get a Kia? Get you a little Kia for 30 grand and take that $170,000 and put it into something that really matters. But he's got it like that. So he had a $200,000 Lamborghini, living in a $1.8 million house. The house was fully funded by his church, Restless Church. Oh, yeah. He had on some $10,000 or $14,000 Kanye West gym shoes while he's preaching. It's like, dude, you want to be a baller, but you're a church leader. You can't be rocking it like that. What's next? A diamond encrusted Jesus piece, Jesus on the cross, full diamonds from Jacob or whoever the hot new jeweler is. Damn, so now he just lost his television show. Not good. No bueno. No bueno. Not good. Okay, I see you. I see you, Monique. I'm inside the friends page. Thank you, Carolyn. Thank you, Omar. What is that? And what is the name of it? Okay, Daryl, I saw that. I see Daryl and also Crystal posted it. So I went to the RNC back in 2016, and I went to all the events. I try to get as close as I possibly can. I don't know when this was taken, but what I will tell you is I almost got arrested. They tried to intimidate me from criticizing Donald Trump because I'm no bitch, and I didn't go to the RNC to punk out. So it was Thursday night. I'll tell my little story. Thursday night, Donald Trump's about 40 feet, maybe 50 feet away from me. He's on the podium. Thursday night is the night when the candidate accepts it. So it's the biggest night. Like, everybody's there. It was a full house because, throughout the day when they got speakers who get the stage and people you get a schedule when the speakers are going to be there. It's all televised, but the arena is never packed. It only really gets packed for like the big names, like big time celebrities and or Vice President Pence and then Donald Trump. It's super packed. I mean, it's super packed. You know what I'm saying? And it was every journalist for himself kind of thing because you had to get a pass to get out onto the delegate floor. And it was the only day of the week in which you had to get a pass. Typically, the pass they give you gives you access to the delegate floor and you can walk around. You can walk around and interact with all the folks from CNN and all the different folks. They're right there with different setups, Roland Martin, all the kind of people. And you got unfettered access, with the pass. On the night of the nomination acceptance, they did something different. They gave you a pass for like 30 minutes. So literally, imagine all the journalists, you're off to a room to the side. I'm over there with all these cats I've seen on TV, Don Lemon and all these different cats. They're all standing around just waiting for somebody to come off of the floor and then give them a pass so you could go out there. Man, I couldn't do what I had to do in 30 minutes. I was there for 90 minutes. Was I wrong? They didn't say shit. I was supposed to come back in 30 minutes. I came back in like 90 minutes. Man, I wasn't giving that up. Don Lemon just had to be mad. You know what I'm saying? So I'm out there. Nothing but white folks. Nothing but conservatives. And these are delegates. These ain't just your normal Republicans. These are delegates. These are political insiders, media, and security. And Donald Trump started talking that dumb shit about Hillary Clinton. And I'm talking loud. I posted a video. I still got it. I'm talking loud. I'm shooting out, popping the shit back. Yeah, right, whatever. And one of the delegates was like, man, I don't want to hear you talk anymore. And so I'm like, well, buddy, blame it on the Constitution, right? I think that's what I popped back to him. Man, they tried to intimidate me. But ultimately they didn't. I don't know why they didn't. I kept on talking. I might have went down just a little bit, I'll be honest. But I kept on talking throughout it, and you should have just seen their faces, man. They couldn't stand me. Hey, man, if looks could kill, I would have been lynched many times that day. But it was hella fun. It was hella fun. I don't know if that was the day. I don't know when that photograph was taken, but that was the fun part for me. That was the funnest part. I got an image of this big brolic. He wasn't as tall as me, but, like thick, this big, thick neck brolic, white male, security secret agent guy. And he started giving me this look. He starts looking back at me, right? And so I got a iconic photograph that I took of everybody's looking at Trump. You see Trump in the background. Everybody's looking at Trump. And this one guy, this one brolic, thick neck, steroid motherfucker was looking straight at me. Like, stop talking. But I'm a journalist, and I'm doing commentary with my phone. So, I was talking to you. I can't remember who was on the stream that day, but that was hella fun, man. I'll do it again. I will do it. People were like, Nate, you can't go there by yourself. You scared ass motherfuckers. What's going to happen? Oh, Nate, let us know next time. People say that to me, Nate, let us know next time, man. It's 2016. I got in-laws in Cleveland. We'll be okay. Scary ass people. Stop being scared. Not you, but to those people who were saying that to me. I'm not making it. People was like, Nate, man, don't go up there by yourself. Let us know, man. You got to posse up. Man, it was super fun. A lot of work, too. When you talking about 14, 15, 20 hours, I put in a 20-hour day. You know what I'm saying? That's my commitment level. And I'll do it again. Got no problem with it. It's what I do. I'm going to do it again. That's what's going to happen. I'm going to do it again this year. Let me see. It was hella fun. I might have to repost that, actually. I still got those images and that video when they tried to intimidate me into not speaking my mind. But for me, it was a win-win. Go ahead and arrest me. Go ahead. Go ahead. Great. Now I got some great footage. So to me, it was a win-win. There was no lose in it. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. Okay, let me go back and try to get some of your chat in because we only got 1 minute left. See, that's the problem, TNT. Oh, see, he's going back and forth with TNT. I don't need to read that. Iceman Nick in Houston is the new hip-hop jeweler. Okay, thank you. Iceman Nick in Houston. I think I've seen him on some complex videos or something. All right, I think I've got somebody writes, I have not interviewed Connie Pillage. I never said you did. Who says you did? Drop writes, a black man is safer at a Trump rally than a black man wearing a MAGA hat at a desperate Democrat rally. Well, that's not true, because I saw a black man get elbowed in the face at a Trump rally. I saw a black man, when Trump was running, he got elbowed in the face. He got elbowed straight in the face. So that's not true. That's not true. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, comrade.
Hey, what's up, Black Russia?
Not a whole lot. What's going on with you?
Doing what I do, man. What's on your mind?
Well, I was calling because of the whole shenanigans down at Cincinnati City Hall. You think, I want to ask you a question. You think this is all some type of political attack on Councilwoman Denard? Is that what you really think?
No, I think it started as a political attack. I think the focus was PG Sittenfield. And everybody else was just sort of like, they Democrats too. Little collateral damage. That's what I think. I think it was an attempt by Smitherman and his acolytes, his buddies, to try to smear PG ahead of the mayor's race. That's what I think. What do you think?
Well, I just want to start from the beginning of the whole scenario, because I don't want it to be lost in the sauce that it was 5 members of council who decided to engage in illegal behavior. And the fact that they put out this public statement about the city manager was the reason that all the red flags went up. So, like, you remember they put out the statement saying we're standing with the city manager. It was 5 of them that all put their names in the statement. So it was like, wasn't nobody going to look for trouble? But I mean, when trouble's in your face, people tend to respond to that. Like, how did they come up with this coordinated position when it hadn't been a public meeting in probably about, I think, 2 or 3 weeks? Because it was shortly after the election in 2017. So this is really on them, on the Gang of Five. We won't call on PG Sittenfield. I mean, he was the chairman of the board. He, based on the text, organized all the meetings. So if you want to say people was going after him, I'll go with that. It turned out he was the one organizing the meetings, the illegal meetings. So everything that came from that is totally on them. I just don't know how. I don't understand how people want to. Well, not the people, but allies of the Gang of Five. I'll put it like that. Want to put this on the vice mayor or put this on Brian Shriver or anybody like that, when the Gang of Five was blatantly in your face with we coordinating behind closed doors. How can they be? How can they be to blame for that?
Well, I think, and if you look at the public record, I think that the individuals involved, these 5 members of city council, have admitted as much, and
yeah, they have
admitted their role in it and it being a mistake. So you got to start there. But in terms of the overall motivation of the lawsuit, in my opinion, it was more about getting dirt than being about a public service. And I say that because of the people involved and also the nature of it. Like the nature of the offense.
The nature of the offense, I mean, I would say is shadow government. And I keep going back to that.
I know you will.
When you act like, what's that?
Well, I know you call it shadow government.
Well, that's what it is. I mean, when you start coordinating policy behind closed doors, then you come to the public as if we're going to publicly debate this. You're lying to the public.
Well, you just lied to the audience because they didn't coordinate policy. They coordinated.
They did.
You just said they coordinated a response to Harry Black.
Yeah,
a public response.
It's policy because that's how they coordinated their votes. Because it took 5 votes to get them out of there. That is coordinating policy. You're coordinating not to fire the city manager.
Well, no, that's what you said.
I didn't lie to anybody.
Well, that's not factually true, and that's not what you just said. That's not what you just said, but
exactly
okay.
What I just said.
Okay.
I said that they coordinated the response. This same
Right.
thing as policy.
The response.
Both can be true at the same time.
The public
Don't
statement.
play semantics.
I'm not playing semantics, but what they actually did, if we're going to have this deep conversation about it, if we're going to elucidate it all, let's be all the way real with it then. So what you just said is in fact true, that they coordinated a response, a public response that went out to the public. That doesn't mean that when the 5 of them came together, they didn't already agree on what they wanted to do individually, and it just synced up.
But they did, though. But that's what I'm saying. Their response was coordinated. Therefore, their whole public policy was coordinated, too. They weren't going to vote to fire the city manager until Greg Landsman flipped, which they got he flipped. But at the beginning, they were like, we're standing firm with the city manager. You had to read the whole statement again. I mean, it actually outlined what their position was.
Right. And as I'm saying, that's a position. There was nowhere in the text message that I can recall, and perhaps you did a deeper dive than I did. Sounds like it. But there was nowhere in the text messages where I got the impression that they didn't already have the opinions they had about that initial statement before they started the text messaging.
But that's irrelevant, though.
Well, it's the most relevant part. Because to me, the worst thing it would be worse. Like the text messaging thing would have more weight if what we found out is that 1 or 2 of the other council members were trying to coerce the others. But that's not what happened. They already had these opinions. And as you said, they synced up on how to put it out to the press. That's different.
But the problem is, when you have a public deliberation, that is a time for which you then have to coordinate a scenario where you try to sway public opinion or sway the opinion of the members of council. That's what the public debate is for. So, like to say they go in there with preconceived notions, okay, let's say they went in there with preconceived notions. But then to actually have the debate behind closed doors amongst themselves, then to go to the public as if they're like this is an honest debate in a public forum. That's the lie.
I think that this was a technicality. And I think the 5 members shouldn't have done it because of it. But in the grand scheme of things, not that much of an impact day to day. And that's why I say it was politically motivated.
Well, I mean, if you don't think the operation of the government has been impacted from day to day, look at what's going on down in City Hall, where you got council members being, trying to be served from the state auditor. That impacts day to day because she took off and went home and didn't serve on council that day because she was about to get served. So if you're saying that this ain't impacting the day-to-day operations, I have to disagree with that.
Council persons leave all the time.
Impacting the day-to-day,
They still had quorum, and council persons leave all the time.
It is quorum, but I mean, what are we talking about here? We're talking about a member of council ducking a process server to the point where she don't even go to the damn meeting. So to say it's not impacting day-to-day operations, man, it definitely is.
Well, like I said, they still had quorum, and they vote all the time when people aren't there, whether they're on vacation or sick or for whatever reason they can't be in council. Having the quorum is the most important.
Minimizing this whole scenario. I mean, I get what you're saying about people on vacation. Was this a vacation day? Was yesterday? She was down there, bro. She was there. It just said, "F it, I'm leaving." Come on, man. I mean, I can see if she had a vacation schedule. I can see if she all of a sudden got sick and bounced. But that's not what happened, bro. I don't want that to get away from the public of what actually happened. She was there, present. And then when it got around that there was somebody waiting with some mail for her, she bounced out the side door. And the media caught up with her. And the best response she had was, I don't like you, right? That was the best response you give to the journalist that caught you leaving. All she asked was why you ain't at council. The public should know why she ain't at council. Were you there?
Well, again,
and she said, I don't like you, right? I mean, people were concerned about me being down at City Hall. I think people need to be way more concerned about who's elected down there, bro.
I think that
because this is comedy, bro. This is hilarious.
I think that when the people that put this whole play in motion, as I said before, the acolytes of Smitherman, his friends and cronies, they probably didn't know it was going to go this far. And in terms of it being a political hit job, it's been a good one. I'll give them credit for that.
But you don't want to deal with Tamaya's behavior. You don't want to talk about this nonsense. This is nonsense, bro.
We've been talking about Tamaya's behavior all morning long.
Look, you talked about what the media's reporting. We're not talking. You've let her get off the hook. You've not said that what she did was wrong. You're not going to say that? I mean, you're not going to say that ducking the process server down at City Hall is wrong when the public expects to go in there and vote for whatever legislation needs to be voted on? Come on, man. This is silly.
I agree.
This has got to be the worst section of council.
Silly.
This is the worst section of council I've seen, bro.
You're right. This is silly. I've been calling this whole text message thing silly. It's silly, but it's serious because it's got these legal implications that's wasting a lot of time and taking a lot of oxygen. I agree with you. You're right.
No, I'm talking about the behavior of the council. The text message in itself is serious business because you lying to the public about how you taking public votes. That's what you're doing. I'm talking about the behavior. This has been the worst section of council I've ever seen, and I've been watching this stuff since 1993, since I was young G. This is the worst, bro.
Well,
this is worse than Leslie Gibbs and Cole arguing. This is worse than that, bro.
Well, I mean, then you should, if you really believe that, and that's a real concern to you, like you're really concerned that this is the worst council, then you should have did something about it. You cool with Smitherman? You could have said, listen, man, we don't need all this nonsense on council. And you talk about Gang of Five all the time. But have you ever done that? Have you ever done that?
For this at all.
You've never done that. So I think you're being disingenuous right now.
I think he's doing a damn good job. He's doing a great job. His entire tenure on council, his advocacy for the people has been top notch.
Yeah.
Even for Jeff Pastor, since he's been down there, he's done a pretty good job too.
But
it's been these Democrats down here on city council who's been running around here not doing anything for people, but passing in the cloaks of, we're helping the people. It's been nonsense, this session's been terrible.
All I'm saying is that Greg Landsman put it out there that Christopher Smitherman said some crazy shit to him, threatened him. I haven't heard anybody else say that about anybody else on city council. Have you? In this session?
Said some crazy shit to him.
Yeah, you remember what he said? You remember when it was in the media?
What, he called him evil?
No, I'm talking about, he said, I think he alleged said something to him in council, like said something, leaned over and said something to him. You don't remember that?
I remember somebody saying something, but I don't know if he said that for real. Greg Lester could be making that shit up, for all I know.
He could be. He could be. So what do you think? We know what
he text message. He was calling journalists a dick and everything. We know what he
was calling who what?
He was calling journalists dicks.
Well, that's how you feel about journalists.
Well, right, so I'm saying, so like, you were talking about me about what he allegedly said to somebody's ear when we got text messages what this guy actually thinks about people.
Okay. Well, maybe I'm wrong about that. Man, all I'm saying is that there's nothing wrong with some disagreement. There's nothing wrong with being a little disagreeable. That's going to happen. But when you say this is the worst session of council, who do you blame? Like, what council persons do you think has been causing all of the nonsense?
I think it's been a gang of five.
Nah.
Because this started, look, this messages, you read the messages, this all started right after the election, right after the 2017 election. This stuff has been going on since January 2018. And then when they got busted, now you see the results of all this stuff happening. And it's still 2020, and this is still an issue. When the state auditor
wait a minute. It's only an issue because of the Republican Party wanting to make it an issue. You got to be joking me. You got to be joking. Is the auditor a Republican? The Republican Party didn't. Is the auditor a Republican? They didn't organize 5 people to. Is the auditor a Republican?
The state auditor is a Republican.
Is the Hamilton County prosecutor Republican?
Yes, he is.
Okay, then. So this is the Republicans that keep pushing this. This ain't the people.
No, look,
the people aren't saying, really go deep with Gang of Five. I'm just saying the people are not behind this. Don't make it seem like this is something that the people care about. This is the Republican Party and surrogates and acolytes and friends of who are pushing this story to its possible legal end because it benefits them. It gives them something to talk about. God forbid they talk about doing something for our community, but no, they want to talk about the Gang of Five.
The Gang of Five is a big issue in our community, bro. This is the type of stuff that you read about in textbooks. They're gonna be talking about this 100 years from now, like how they talk about Boss Cox. You know who Boss Cox is, right?
Yeah, I heard the name. I've heard the name. Yes.
All right.
This
is one of the most corrupt administrations in Cincinnati's history. People who know Cincinnati history understand that this is Boss Cox type stuff that PG was trying to do, calling shots behind the scenes outside the purview of the public. It is on that type of level. That's why it has permeated this entire session of council. It started in 2018. It's still going on. We got people down at City Hall getting served who are missing meetings because they're avoiding to get served. And it's like, this is not a big deal.
I think it's an unfortunate scenario. And I think the ball was set in motion. I think the ball was set in motion by the political opponents of these individuals. That's what it's all about. I know that, and you know that. The people don't care about this.
The gang set this in motion.
I bet you last night.
Look, if they don't put out no public statement, Nathan Ivey, we probably don't even hear about this.
I bet you last night at the NAACP forum, the Gang of Five and text messages didn't come up. I bet you it didn't come up. It ain't on nobody's black agenda. The Gang of Five is on nobody's black agenda, and it's ultimately irrelevant. And the only fire keeping it going is the Republican Party and the friends of the local Republican Party. That's what it is.
I would venture.
That's the truth.
I would venture to say that local NAACP is irrelevant now at this point. They had like 10 people there last night, bro. I seen the camera shots. You've seen the video. There's empty chairs everywhere. So like, don't tell me about the NAACP's agenda, bro. Because at one point in time, I was involved with the NAACP's agenda, and we were the biggest chapter in the state of Ohio.
Well, why don't you go back? Why don't you go back and work with the folks over there and make it big again?
I'm cool on Rob Richardson Sr. As long as he's the president, I'm not working with him.
Why?
Because he's corrupt too.
Okay. Well, maybe we can pick that up on another day.
Once he's gone, I'll look into maybe renewing my membership and doing some stuff with them again. But until he's gone, it's a no for me.
Okay. Do you want to flesh that out at all? You gonna leave it just like that, or?
I'll leave it just like that.
Okay, we'll pick it up another day.
People who know what I'm talking about.
All right, Black Russia. Anything else?
Fantastic weekend.
You too, man.
That's it.
Take it easy. There it is. That's for Danya. It's Black Russia. Terrence Rice. It didn't come up because it's irrelevant. And like, I'm all for transparency. Like, now that we know that this should not happen, if it continues to happen, we got a problem. Like, show me where this has continued to happen by these 5 members of city council. Are they continuing to have these kind of text messages? Okay, we got a problem. I mean, but, how much blood do you want to get out of this? And the reason why this is an issue now is because of the Republican auditor, because of the Hamilton County prosecutor, and their Republican friends. And I hate to make it so partisan, but that's what it is. They have an invested interest in trying to smear these Democrats. They're invested in that. They're invested in trying to smear PG Sinfield. It's the truth. I know coming from me, you like, Nate, I know why you saying that. You do a podcast with PG. Okay. But I'm just telling you, this is what I hear. This is what I see. And tell me what the impact is to your day to day. I mean, it's fun to talk about. People going back and forth, and trying to go, yeah, if you like that kind of stuff, it's interesting, but it ain't a kitchen table issue. It's not. Because kitchen table issues are kitchen table issues. I want to know how I can make more money to take care of me and mine. That's what I'm trying to figure out. How can I keep more of my money? How can I make more money? Is my family safe? Is my street safe? Are they selling dope around the corner? What's my life expectancy? Are black babies living to their first birthday? You know what I'm saying? Are black entrepreneurs getting a fair shake? Are we getting a real piece of the pie? That's what I care about. And I'll say it again. I just don't think that I think that for people who are opponents of Tamaya Dennard and these other individuals, Greg Landsman and Wendell Young and PG Sinfield and Chris Silbach, then it gives you something to go at. And if you're smart, you can try to make it into something. But also if you're smart, you can see for what it really is. But I enjoy it as a topic, though. I'm down with it as a topic. 513. Well, that's really my time, actually. Oh, okay. I'm getting multiple messages here. All right. But I got to make a move. I'll catch up with you folks later on Monday with another live daily show, Nathan Ivey Show. Let's see here. Okay, will do. All right. So let me just give you a rundown later on of what Donnie B will be talking about at 12:30 today. Jay-Z's new lawsuit against the Mississippi State prisons, NFL's fake-ass civil rights commercial, Trump killing Suleiman. Because she's been gone for some time. She was down with some illness. Looks like she's going to talk about Tamaya Dennard and the fact that the Inquirer is saying that she evaded a subpoena. She's going to talk about the discrimination lawsuit by the St. Louis prosecutor. And Fanon Rucker, who we all know this past Saturday, got the Democratic Party endorsement. That's coming up later on today. All right. Listen, that is my time. I'll be with you again. I'll be doing Donnie's show coming up at 12:30 in about 2 hours. And so please check it out when you see the stream. And have an excellent day. And we'll talk real soon. Have an excellent weekend.